Good afternoon. Welcome to our mathematics class. So, I know you still remember the assessment overview when it comes to mathematics. So, when we say assessment overview, it means you are supposed to know what mathematics is containing when it comes to assessment. I know you still remember when we learned about this assessment overview. You have to know this mathematics has paper 1 and paper 2. So we are saying we have assessment overview here. So in this mathematics assessment overview, we have paper 1. In this case, this paper 1, the code is 4MA1-3. So that is the code for this mathematics assessment. Then now the percentage for this, it is 50%. It is 50%. And in this case, the marks are 100. Now when they are converted, according to what you got in your assessment, you will be in a position to get 100% when it is combined with paper 2. Now, and we also have this paper, it is set externally and it is normally a written examination paper. Then now when it comes to paper 2, the code for this one is 4MA14H. That is the code. So it means when you will be assessing this paper, it will be written paper 2 and this code here. Then now the percentage for this also it is 50%. Now when both are combined, you will get 100%. And this also it is just a written examination paper. And also the marks for this one it is 100. Marks here, they are 100. Now when it comes to this mathematics also, so when it comes to this mathematics, we have about 5 units. With the first one, in this case, it is talking about the numbers. Now inside that numbers, we have fractions, we have division, we have multiplication, we have algebra. So as we are going to learn more as we go ahead, we are going to learn now and to go deeply. We also have statistics, we have probability, so we are going to learn deeply as we go ahead. Then when it comes to this assessment overview, we also have some of the objectives you are supposed to know. We have the first objective, that is about demonstration. That's about your knowledge, that's about the skills you know. This is about demonstration, the knowledge and the skills. Then we also have, it is about the numbers. We have numbers, for example, 1, 2, 3, and so on. And we also have the numbering system. So we have numbers, the numbering system, calculations, and all sorts of the sequence. We have the numerical numbers. So in this objective number 1, you are going to learn only that one. You are only demonstrating the knowledge and the skill you have as far as mathematics is concerned. Then we have assessment objective number 2. That's all about geometry, trigonometry, vectors. So we have in objective number 1, for this one we have you are only demonstrating knowledge, skills, and understanding when it comes to numbers, numerical systems, Then we also have calculations, we have sequences. Now, that is about the assessment objective number 1. We are talking about the numbers, numerical system, calculations, and the sequences. Then we have assessment objective number 2. So, in this assessment objective number 2, we are going to learn about geometry and transformation. So, we have geometry here. Now, when we say geometry, geometry is all about drawing. You are supposed to have your mathematical table. You measure maybe a distance from point A to B, maybe 15 centimeters. Then from now, at that point, you are supposed maybe to measure a certain angle. So that is geometry. And also we have vectors here. We have vectors. So those ones are all about assessment objective number 2. Now when we say vectors, it is all about direction. Maybe a certain object is moving from A. Now it means the direction in this case we have to show with an arrow. So that is vectors. Then we have assessment objective number 3. When it comes to this one here, we are talking about probability and statistics. So we have probability. So we have probability. Now for probability, for example, the probability of raining today, it is 1 because the weather is not as that favorable. Now it means the probability of raining is 1. Then we have now statistics, maybe a certain population of a community. So you are taking their number, their total number. So that is statistics. So that is all about the 3 objectives when it comes to assessment. So let us just, that is all about the assessment overview. So let us now go on with our topic as far as numbers is concerned. So when we were learning in our last lesson, some of you were not in school, but for those who were present, we learned about dividing fractions and also multiplying fractions and order of operation. Now, maybe we can just look at one example. We can look at one example in order operation. When we say order of operation here, it means there are some of the formulas you are supposed to use when you are operating a sum or when you are operating an assessment that you are given as far as order of operation is concerned. So we have whole mass. And we also have big mass. Big mass. Now, the first letter here means bracket. The second one means of. And of in this case, when we were learning about multiplying fractions, we say maybe, for example, a fraction, a half of, we said a half of 1/3. This is just the same as saying 1/2 times 1/3. So in short, this of, it is just the same as multiplication. Is that clear? Then we have the third one, that is division. We have multiplication. We have addition. And we have the last one, subtraction. Then here, It is just the same. The difference is only one letter. So we have this is bracket, this is indices. When we say indices, it means a number is raised to another number. Now it means we have, maybe for example, you have 2 raised to 2, or we can have 3 raised to 2, or we can have 5 raised to 3, or 5 raised to 4. You see? Now, then we have the next one, that is multiplication. Now, when you look at this BODMAS and BIDMAS, the difference is only one letter. Yes? Now, the other letters means this is division, yes, this one, multiplication, that one, addition, that one, and we have the last one, that is subtraction. Now, let us look at one example for that one. Then we have good to go. So we have one example here. That is 16 minus 4 times 3 all over 6 divided by 3 times 2. Now, when you are operating this sum here, you are going to apply these two formulas here. Now, when you look at this question here, do we have fraction? No. Bracket? No. Do we have of or indices? We don't have. Do we have division? Yes, we have. But now, when you are operating this sum here, it means you are going to deal with the numerator side first, then you deal with the numerator side. Then now, after you have your final answer in the numerator and in the denominator, you now divide both and you will get your final answer. Now, let us start with the numerator. Let us start with the numerator here. So we have numerator. We have 16 minus 4 times 3. So we can start with multiplication. So we have 4 times 3 here. It is 12. Then now you rewrite your equation. So it means you have 16. Sorry. We have 16 minus 12. 16 minus 12, it is 4. So you are through with the numerator. Let us go to the denominator. Denominator, we have 6 divided by 3 times 2. Now, we have division, that comes first. So it means we say 6 divided by 3, we have 2. Then times 2. 2 times 2, 4. And now we have our numerator and we have our denominator. Now it means we say 4 divided by 4. We are getting by 4, 1 by 4, 1. We have 1 as our answer. Yeah. So then also maybe you are given another question that is having indices. So it means you are supposed to follow this order of operation here when you are dealing with a sum that is having more than certain operation. That is, we have division, we have multiplication, we have bracket. Yeah, so that's all about what we learned last week. Now let us learn about something new in this new lesson here. That is about the significant figures and decimals. So we are significant figures and decimal places. When we say significant number or a significant figure, it means it is a number that is a non-zero. It is not zero, it is a non-zero. Hope you are getting me. Now, we are saying the first, or we can have some of the key points here. Key points, we have the first one, that is the first significant figure. Is the first non-zero number or digit in the number. Non-zero digit in the number. In the number, counting from left to right. You are supposed to count this from left. So when we say a significant figure or a significant number, it means your first or the first significant figure, it is the first non-zero digit in the number counting from left. Then also when it comes to decimal places, when we talk about the decimal places, you have for the decimal places, count after decimal point. For the decimal places, you are supposed to count after decimal point. That is now you are also counting from left to right. This is going from left to right. It is just the same as the significant figure. We were counting the first non-zero digit in the number, counting from the left, that is going to your right. Then now the case of decimal places, you are counting after the decimal point, going from left to right. Then now we have the last one now. If the number now, we are talking about if it is greater than 5 or less than 5 or equal to 5. Now we are saying if the number is greater or equal to 5, then round up. The next number. So we can just look at an example, then we shall be in a position to understand more when it comes to significant figures and also the decimal places. Now, let us look at an example. Example here. Example. We have a number like 27,400, 2,700, 27,400. Now, for this one here, we are told to identify the first significant figure. The first significant figure. Now, when we were talking about the significant figure, we say the first significant figure is the first non-zero digit. It is the first non-zero digit. Now, when you look at this example here, we have it is 27,400. Yes. Now, it means now our first significant figure, in this case it is 2. These 2 here. It is the first significant figure. That is our first significant figure in this number here. Now, this is a whole number. Let us look at another example for decimal. We have 0.123. Which one here is the first significant figure or digit? We say the first significant figure, it is the first non-zero. Now, in this case, we have 0. This is not a significant figure. So, it means 1. It is the first significant figure. So, we have 1 here. It's the first significant figure. Yeah. That one here. This is a decimal number. So, our first significant figure, it is not a 0 here. It is this one. Because you are saying a significant figure, it is a non-zero digit or it is a non-zero number. So it means it is this one here. Then we have another example, that is 0.00583. We are also told to give or to indicate the first significant figure. Now, in this case here, we have this is a decimal number and it has zeros coming first before the numbers. So it means when you want to indicate your significant figure or your significant number, it means you are only considering the non-zero digit. In this case, it is 5. This one here. So this is your first significant figure. First significant figure. Now, let us now look at another example for the significant figure. Example, we have 1,000. You are told correct to 2 significant figure. Now, for you to change or to correct a number to 2 significant figure, we have something to note here. We are saying when rounding to 2 significant figure, look at the third significant figure. Look at the third significant figure. Then, if that's that number, if this is great, if this is greater than 5, if this is greater than 5 or equal to 5, then round up the second figure. Then round up the second figure. Now, when you are rounding off to 2 significant figures, you are supposed to look at the third significant figure. If that number or if that digit is greater than 5 or equal to 5, it means you round up the second figure. Now, this is also the same, or it is also applicable when you are told to correct a number to 3 significant figures, it means when you are rounding off to 3 significant figures, it means you are looking to 4 significant figure. And also, when you are looking for first or 1 significant figure, it means you are looking at the second one. And this journey continues because when you are looking for 2 significant figure, you are looking at the third. Now it means when you have an example like it is 1,361, you are told to do significant figures. Now it means for this one here, we are told correct or round up to 2 significant figures. So we were saying our first significant figure or number, it is the first number or it is the non-zero digit. In this case we have 1 and 2. So it means we are looking at the third number. This is 6. Is this 6 greater than 5 or equal to 5? It is greater than 5. So it means you round up. It means you take 1 here. So it will be 14. Then you change others to 0. You get 1400. So this one here, it is your answer. That is 1400, 1400. Then we also have another example. That is 1,350 to 2 significant figures. When you say 2 significant figures, you have 1 and 2. So it means you look up to the third significant figure. Yes? So our third significant figure here, it is 5. So it means we round up. So it means it will be 14. Then you change the other numbers or the other letters or the other digits to 0. Our answer is 1,400. We also have, so those are the 2 examples, which are the third significant figure, it is greater than 5, or the other one is equal to 5. We also have another one that is 0.01361. And we are to correct this number here to 2 significant figures. Remember, we say our first significant number, it is the first non-zero digit. So it means we have our first significant figure being 1. In this case here, it is 1. So it means it is 1 here. So we are correcting to 2 significant figure. So it means 1, 2. Then you look at the third significant figure. It is 6. This 6 here, it is greater than 5. So it means we round up the second number to 4. So it means we have our answer as 0.014. We can change to 0 or we can leave it this way. We can change to 0 or we just leave a third point there. They are the same. We can have it that way, or we have it 0.014. Now, we can also look at another example that is having now the third number or the third significant figure less than 4 or even equals to 5. So we can write it here. We have 0.001349. This one correct to two significant figure. So we are saying the first significant figure, it is the first non-zero digit. So in this case here, we have our first significant digit or number, it is this one here, because it is a non-zero digit. So our first one, it is this one here. Then we are now correcting this number to two significant figure. So it means we now have one, the first one, the second one. Those ones are the two significant figures. Then now, when you are rounding up or up, or when you are correcting a certain number to two significant figures, it means you are looking at the third number or the third significant figure, if it is greater than 5 or less than 5. In this case, we have 4 here. 4, it is less than 5. So it means we only cut that way, then we change the other letters to 0, or we just leave it that way as our answer. So our answer will be 0.0013. You can leave it this way, or you put your zeros. Yeah. Now, maybe I can just give you some two sums. You try correcting them to two significant figures or even three significant figures. Then I will mark when you come back. Yeah. Half those two sums, you correct them or you round them up to two significant figures. The first one is 80,290 and the second one is 0.654. You are supposed to correct both of the numbers to two significant figures. Now, we are done about significant figures. Let us learn decimal places. Decimal places. Decimal places. Now, when you are told to round up a certain number, maybe to one decimal place, to 2 decimal place to 3 decimal place, you are supposed to see if it is to 1 decimal place. You are supposed to look at the next number if it is greater than 5 or equal to 5. Now, you are saying you are supposed to count after the decimal point. From left to right, obvious. From left to right. When you are told to round up. Now, you are also supposed to consider the next number. If it is greater than 5 or less than 5, that's the same as what we were doing about significant figures. We can look at an example here so that you shall come to understand more when it comes to decimal places. We are told round up 7.1361 to 2 decimal places. Yeah, you are supposed to round up or to correct this number here to 2 decimal places. Now, when it comes to decimal places, you are counting after the decimal point. In this case, we have this is our decimal point here. It is 7.1361. So, our decimal point, it is this one. So you are counting from this one here. So it is 1, 2. Then you look at the next number. That's that number. If it is greater than 5, equal to 5, or less than 5. Now, this 6 here, it is greater than 5. So you round up, round off. You round off this one. So you left 4 here. Then, so it means we have 7. We have 7.14 because when you round off, it means you are adding 1 to 3 here. You have 7.14 as your answer. You can leave it this way or you put zeros because when it is also this way, it means you have zeros. You can leave it that way. It's okay. Yeah. Then we also have another example. We have 0.135. Sorry for that. We have 0.135. This one to 2 decimal places, sorry. Now, for this one also, we are counting the decimal point, the decimal numbers from the decimal point. So it means we have this one, it is 1, 2. Then we look at the next number. If it is greater than 5, equal to 5, or less than 5. In this case here, we have our first digit is 1, 2. We are counting from left to right. So we have our next number or that number, it is 5. So it means we round off this one, this second number, to 4. So we have our answer now here, 0.14. That is your answer. That is your answer. 0.14. When you are rounding off or correcting to two decimal place, or maybe you can be told correct to 3 decimal place. For example, we can get this one, 7.1361. Let us correct to 3 decimal place. So, for this one, you are supposed to also consider counting the numbers from left to right immediately after the decimal point. So, in this case, we have our decimal point here. So we have 1, 2, 3. Then we look at our next number. Is it greater than 5, less than 5, or equal to 5? So we have it is less than 5. So it means we are not rounding off any number. So we have our answer as 7.136. That is your answer. When you are told to round off to 3 decimal place, you are supposed to consider counting a number from left to right immediately after the decimal point. Is that clear? Yes. Now, we also have another example when it comes to this decimal point. We have 0.0349. You are supposed to correct this one to 2 decimal place. DP means decimal place. Yes? Now, for this one also, we are counting immediately after the decimal point. Now, when we were talking about significant figures, we were saying our first significant figure, it is the first non-zero digit. Is that clear? Now, when it comes to decimal point, we are only counting from immediately after the decimal point. Do you hear the difference? Decimal point, we are counting immediately after the decimal point. We count from left to right. Yes? Now, when you look at the first number after the decimal point here, it is 0. That is our first number. That is our first decimal place. So, we have this 1, 2. Then we look at our third decimal place. That is 4. 4 is less than 5. So it means we are not rounding off. So it means we have our answer as 0.03. That is our answer. When it comes to decimal place, and immediately after the decimal point, you have a number to be 0 or a letter to be 0. That is your first decimal place you are counting. But in the case of significant figure, the first significant figure, it is the first non-zero digit. Is that clear? Now, Let us also look at another example about decimal places. Decimal places. We have 8.997. 8.997. You are supposed to correct that one to 2 decimal place. Correct to 2 decimal place. You can try correcting that number to 2 decimal place before we do. Yes. So, when you are correcting this number, we say we are counting immediately after the decimal point from left to right. So it means our first decimal place here, it is 9. So we have 1, 2. 2. Then we look at our third decimal place. This is 7. 7. Is it greater than 5 or less than 5? Yes. It is greater than 5. So it means we round off this one. Now, when it comes to this one here, we round off this one. It will become 10. So it means we have 0. Then we also have 1 here. We have 0. And now we have 1 here, so it will be 9.00, and that is now your answer when you are correcting this number here to 2 decimal place. Because we have this one, it is more than 5. Yes. We also have another example, 2.0. 2.0, let me write here. 2.0 765. 2.0765. For this one also, you are told to correct this number to 2 decimal place. Now, when you are correcting this number to 2 decimal place, it means we are counting our first decimal place immediately after the decimal point. So, our first decimal place, it is 0. Then we have 2 here. 2. Then now we look at our next number or our third decimal place. If it is greater than 5, equal to 5, or less than 5. If it is greater than 5 or equal to 5, it means you round off the second decimal place. Now, when you look at this one here, we have 6. It is greater than 5. So, we are supposed to round off this number here. When you round off this number here, we shall have 8. So it means our answer will be 2.08. That is our answer. When we were talking about the significant figures, we were not considering this 0 here, but we were saying the first significant figure, it is the first non-zero digit, or it is the first non-zero number. In this case of decimal place, we are only counting immediately after the decimal place. That is our first decimal place. and this one is our answer. Let us look at one last example as we finish up. 78.18 1818. For this one, we are told we round off or we correct to one decimal place. Now, when you are correcting this number to one decimal place, you are supposed to count your first decimal place immediately after the decimal point. And our point, it is here. It is here. Now, our first decimal place, it is this one here. This is our second and 3 as we go on. Now, we have 1. Then now we look at the second decimal place. Then your son now is supposed to round off the first decimal place. So, we have 8 here. Is 8 greater than 5, equal to 5, or less than 5? So, this 8 here, it is greater than 5. So, we round off this one here to 2. And our answer will be 78.2. That is our answer when you correct a number to one decimal place. Maybe I can just give you some two sums also. You try correcting to maybe one decimal place, 2 decimal place, 3 decimal place, and so on. So, we are going correct to 2 decimal place. So, we have the first one here, that is 6.96. And the second one here, it is 3.999. That is 2 decimal place. So, you are supposed to count your decimal places immediately after the decimal point. Then you consider the next number if it is greater than 5, less than 5, or equal to 5. This is 2 decimal place. Let me give you also for 3 decimal place. Decimal place. Now we can have the first one here. It is 3.8991. B is 5.4820. So make sure you consider the decimal point when you are correcting the numbers to their respective decimal places. Yeah, so you can try correcting those 2 sums there. The one for 2 decimal place, also significant figures, and 3 decimal place. Otherwise, we can continue from there in our next lesson. Have a nice day.